Hi, everyone. Welcome to YHELPtalk with Sarah. Today, we are here with professional educator Erika Frasier. Hi, Erika. How are you doing?
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. Today, we're going to be discussing cooking and STEAM. So, Erika, how are cooking and STEAM related?
Oh, that's an easy question. So, in science, when we do labs, we follow a script. We follow, it's almost like a recipe, right? We have knowledge of what we're looking for. We put these things together. We try to see if this works based on a hypothesis. And then we test it by putting these chemicals or mixing these two things or adding this or taking this away. And we do that. We record data and then we have a finished product. Well, cooking is similar. You have a recipe that you follow, right? You gather your ingredients. You have a predicted outcome, but it doesn't always end up that way, right? So sometimes it might be a little bit too salty. Sometimes it might be a little bit too sweet or whatever the case may be. So you go back, you reevaluate, you tweak your recipe, and then you start again. So it's the collection of the data, it's the end product that you get, and then it's whatever you think is the expected outcome, good or bad. And you can take that one recipe and you can add something else or try something else. Like if you're making a stir fry and you start off making a chicken stir fry, right? But you still got your broccoli, your onions, your peppers, all of those different veggies. And then this time you say, you know what? I like that, but I want to try shrimp. Or this time I want to try tofu. Or this time I want to try beef. All the same thing, right? You're following the same recipe. You're going to come out with a different result. And so with that, you tweak it, you make changes, and then you try it again. So science and cooking are similar in those ways.
And how long have you been cooking?
Oh, I started cooking very early on. My mom was a single mom, so she raised me to be able to sustain myself. So, we had to get up pretty early because in DC, I'm born and raised in DC, you have to catch the bus, right? So you have to either eat something before you get to school or something like that. So I learned to start cooking early, like around 4th, 5th grade, where she let me actually cook on the stove without having her. It was about 4th or 5th grade. I could do other things, like a sandwich and things like that. But then when I can actually make something on the stove was about 4th, 5th grade.
And who taught you how to cook?
Oh, my mom, for sure. My mom taught me how to cook. I always watched her. I would ask questions and I would try, different things and be like, or I would just stand in the kitchen while she was cooking, right? And just watch what she's doing, how she do it. And then I'd say, well, how do you do that? Well, why are you adding this? Or, all the things that a kid does when their mom's in the kitchen cooking.
And what was the first thing you learned how to make?
Oh, that's easy. Breakfast. So I learned how to make bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Like, I loved that as a kid. And so I would get up a little earlier in the morning, especially when I was in middle school, and be like, Mom, do you want bacon, egg, and cheese? And she was like, I don't have time to make it. Okay. And I would go in the kitchen and make, fry the bacon, make the fried egg and put the cheese on there. And I was like, it was much better than what I would pay at the little corner store or the carry out, for bacon, egg, and cheese. So that's the first thing I learned.
And why is cooking your passion?
Oh, because in cooking, you can pour so much love into what you're doing. Recently, my pastor and one of the ministers at my church, they were not feeling well. And they had been, I didn't know. I just happened to talk to my pastor on a Thursday. And I was like, hey, you all right? You sounding a little, he was like, yeah, girl, I'm fighting this cold. And I've been fighting it for a while. I was like, okay, I'm going to make you some homemade chicken noodle soup. And so I made it Sunday morning. I had all the ingredients, but I made it fresh Sunday morning. So I had chopped up all the vegetables, carrots and onions and celery, all the fresh herbs. I did get a rotisserie chicken, but I had broke it down and then I put the carcass in the broth to make my own broth. And oh my gosh, it was so good. And I sent him some, and then I sent some with the minister at the church, and they were like, I don't know what you put in this soup. I ain't been coughing. I've been clearing my nose. I didn't do anything special other than add some fresh herbs and love. You got to put love into what you do, right? Because it's like an extension of your heart. To me, that's how cooking is. So when I'm cooking something for someone, I'm very, very meticulous about it, very much trying to pour love into it.
Why do you think it's important for teens to learn how to cook?
It's important because you have to be able to, one, sustain yourself, right? In this economy, you really can't DoorDash and Instagram, what is it? Instacart, food, because you're going to go broke. You know what I mean? I mean, the amount of money that it costs you to have it DoorDash or Uber Eats to your house, right? The meal might be $15 and then you got to pay more for them to bring it. So you might spend $25 for a meal that should have cost you $15. And you can take that same $25 and go to the store and buy all the ingredients, and it might take you 30 minutes of your time and you'll still have money left over. Especially stuff like a burger. Like I get really tripped out when people DoorDash or Uber Eats like McDonald's and stuff like that. I'm like, are you really kidding me? Like you're spending so much more for this than you could just, everybody likes McDonald's, right? I don't really, but you can make the fries. You can make your burger, right? You can make the chicken sandwich, homemade, freshly made, better ingredients, and you can even make the mac sauce. And but you can also make Chick-fil-A sauce, right? So like all these things that people are buying to get, you could do yourself, and it's much more healthier. You're controlling the amount of sodium, the amount of salt, and you got leftovers. Ma'am, a pack of chicken breasts, right, might be $6, and you're going to get 2 big pieces. You cut those in half. That's 4 sandwiches. Okay. Where you might spend $12 to $15 at Chick-fil-A. I could do that at home. You know what I mean? It's so much more economical and you're going to get much more from it. So I think it's important for them it's fine to eat out, right? I have to sometimes when I'm rushing. But one thing it showed me, I love tropical smoothie, right? I really do. And they have these bowls, right? The bowls are $12 each. Now it's yogurt, almonds, chia seed, honey, strawberries and blueberries. I'm telling you, I took that same $12 and I was like, this is crazy. I'm spending $12 a day because I was eating it every day, right? Especially during the week. So maybe 3 out of the 5 days. So right there, I'm spending $36. I took the same $12 and I was able to have the same exact thing every day of the week for $12. Right? So I got my strawberries, I got my blueberries. I bought a bag of chia seeds was $2, and a bag of chia seeds will last you like months, right? Because they're so small. Strawberries, blueberries, $1.99. $2.49, and then the yogurt, the big container, was only $4. Again, I'm telling you. And honey I already had. I have most of the stuff anyway. But if I was buying it, I didn't even spend the total, maybe $12 with tax. And now I can have the same bowl every day for 5 days.
And what are some easy meals that teens can make?
Oh, it depends on what you like, right? Like, honestly, I think a one pan meal is easy, or sheet pan meal is easy. For example, you could do even the most easiest would be like shrimp, because all you have to do, get the shrimp, take the shell off, or you can buy it already de-shelled. You got your vegetables. Like if you wanted to make a fajita meal, cut up the onions, cut up the peppers, buy some taco seasoning or fajita seasoning, olive oil, run it all together, throw it in the pan and put it in the oven. 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops, your meal is done, and your tortillas are already made. So you buy your little sour cream and all of that stuff to put on there. That's easy. Another thing that's easy is breakfast food, because you can do that, and you can make a waffle in the waffle maker. You just add water to the mix. You can pop your sausage or bacon into an air fryer if that's what you have. And you just learn how to beat an egg, make an egg scrambled or whatever. That's easy. But there's also, I think it's easy. I've always felt that my kids, I needed them to learn how to cook. That's my struggle, because I'm so meticulous about the kitchen, right? Like, so you can't be wiping your face and doing all this. I get really upset. I be like, no, go wash your hands. And they kind of like just give up, because they be like, she do too much. So that's the burden that I have to bear. But I try to teach them, but I think my baby son will be the one I'll be most successful with. The older two, they just be over me, because they tell me all the time, "Mom, you just do too much." Okay, well, I don't want no hair or no boogers in my food, so don't be in here wiping your nose and all. You know what I mean? It drives me crazy. So I'd be like, "Get out, just get out. Let me do it." So I guess lunch is also easy, right? You can also make a sandwich. That's easy. I think anybody can follow the steps with that. You know what I mean? You buy the meat, lettuce, tomato if you want it, and you can always jazz that up, right? So you can make it hot, or you can do it cold. So a breakfast is easy to me, but it don't take a lot if you just follow the directions. That's the other thing. Just following the directions. It's real simple. Once you learn how to follow the directions or follow the recipe, it becomes much easier.
And if I don't know how to cook, how could I learn?
Oh, easy. YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram. There's a lot of different recipes and stuff. I get a lot of inspiration and ideas off of them. Like even TikTok, right? There are a lot of people I follow who have various recipes. I have some of their spices and things which I've found to be really good. So YouTube for sure. Instagram, TikTok, all of them, they have very good videos step by step, but also Pinterest, because they have short videos, but they also provide you with, the recipe. I'm still a recipe person, right? I know what I like, and I will tweak it to meet what I like. But if you don't know, starting from ground zero, always choose either Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, or TikTok, and you'll find something. You can just write in the little search, whatever it is you're looking for, and you'll find it. And you can just follow along. That way you can go step by step, and you're good to go.
And what's the best way to prep for a meal?
Best way is to have everything chopped. Everything, all your ingredients, make sure you have all your ingredients there, so you're not like searching for this or that, especially when you do a stir fry, because it cooks quickly. So you want to make sure that you have everything already ready. So like if you need to have chopped onions, or you need to cut up the beef, or you need to marinate something, go ahead and do that the night before, and then you're good to go. And a easier meal is a dump and go crock pot meal. You take whatever it is you're going to put in there, dump everything into the crock pot, turn it on low, and be gone. You know, you can go to work all day long, come home, and your house gonna smell so good, and you'll be like, God, that smells good. You can't wait. And you know, it's so easy. A crock pot is an essential thing to have. Also, you know, have that, because if nothing else, even if you don't have the time or the skill set to stand there and chop everything up, you can dump any meat in there, vegetables with some broth or water and some seasoning, and it's gonna be good.
Is there any safety advice you can give to teens when cooking?
Yes. Make sure that your knives are sharp, because dull knives will cut you. It's very easy to get cut, but also practice your knife skills. So like about 6 years ago for Thanksgiving, I had bought some brand new knives, and I was trying to cut something. I don't even remember. And I almost cut the tip of my finger off on Thanksgiving Day, girl. We ended up in the ER, and I was like, look, I got a whole bunch of people coming to my house. I don't need no stitches. Can you just glue it back together and put a Band-Aid on and let me go? And they did. And dinner was a little late, but we ate. We still ate. So make sure your knives are sharp. That's for sure. But be careful and practice your knife skills, and like really pay attention. Like don't be trying to talk, and especially when you're first starting out, don't be trying to like talk to people and stuff. Like be focused so that you don't hurt yourself, because you can get cut really bad. And just pay attention to your pans. You know, don't let it get overheated, because that's one way to start a fire or get burned. I've never had that issue to come up, but I have cut myself a few times. And when you have a new gadget, read the directions, know how to use it. You know what I mean? Because that's another way that you can get hurt.
Do you have any advice about grocery shopping?
Yes, compare shopping, right? Like I grew up in DC, so all we had was like Shoppers, Giant, Safeway, and then of course the little mom and pop stores on the corner, which always were higher. Their prices were much higher, right? So my mom would go to Shoppers, or we would go to Giant. My mother was a Giant person. Safeway was always high growing up, so you know we didn't do Safeway too much unless we were in a pinch. Or we would go to the market on the weekend, where the market was much cheaper. But I can tell you, compare your prices, right? Like now you can do a comparison. I love Aldi's. I love Lidl. I shop everywhere, right? I know what I'm looking for, and I kind of know now where I'm going to find the better deals. You know, fresh vegetables and fruits I find are better at Aldi, right? Unless there's a sale at Safeway or something like that. But I have 3 boys, so sometimes I'll even go to Sam's Club, because it's just easier, you know, when I'm getting a larger quantity. But again, you know, bargain shop, like compare the prices, download the apps. Because a lot of times you'll get other deals in the app, and sometimes like the recipes on different recipe groups like allrecipes.com or Pinterest, or some of the other, because some of the cookbooks, they actually have a website, and so they'll say, hey, do you need, you know, to find this at the grocery store, and they'll send you an alert if something is on sale from a recipe that you saved. So that's always good. I compare shop, right? Like, so I'm not out here, you know, I do spend a lot of money on groceries, but not to the point where I'm like, oh my God, right? I do compare. So I know that all these I can get blueberries for $1.99. Whereas if I go to Giant, it's going to be $3.49. You know what I mean? So I compare shop like that. And stuff is on sale. Always get what's on sale. And you know what I used to be? I used to be really pressed about the label, right? Like, oh, I can only get Heinz ketchup, and I can only get, you know, this name brand. Don't be caught up in that, because a lot of times the name brand company makes the same off-brand that they sell in the store. It's just different label. Same quality, same taste, just a different label. Real talk. You be surprised at like my mom is a real snob when it comes to mayonnaise. And she spends like $5-6 for helmets. Oh no, ma'am. I buy the real mayonnaise from Lidl. That's $2.59, and it tastes the same. But because it says Hellman's, she is 100% bought. So yeah.
And do you have any other tips that you would like to share about cooking?
Try new things. Like, you can travel the world just in food. You know what I mean? You can travel the world in food. Like, try everything. You know, I've always taught my boys, just give it a try. If you don't like it, that's fine, right? But at least you tried it. Now you know that you don't like it. You know, they eat Thai food. They eat sushi. They eat all kind of different stuff. You know what I mean? I love seafood, so they eat it like that. But it's try everything. Don't be afraid to try something. You never know that you may like it, and then you just travel the world with food. I mean, honestly, there is such that's out here, and don't be afraid to ask, can I taste it or can I try it? You know, a lot of times places will allow you to, you know, try it, especially if you're trying to buy something. You can't really do that at the grocery store, but at the farmer's market, where they have all different fruits, dragon fruit, things like that, just ask, can I sample it? Most of the time, they'll let you. And then you'll be surprised at just like how much more your palate begins to evolve, and you're like, oh, I never knew I would like that. My neighbor is from Ethiopia. So she makes that flatbread called injera. So I had already had it before, but she makes hers fresh, homemade, right? It's so delicious. And now my boys, they have tried it. They've tried various Ethiopian foods and stuff. And so it's just, you can travel the world with food. And doing that, it opens up your mind and your ability to be able to enjoy various things. So that way, it doesn't matter where you are. You always find something that you can enjoy and eat. And so that's always my thing. Try everything. Just try it once. Be surprised.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and go to YHELPnow.com and be sure to follow at YHELPnow for all of your mental health and life skill resources.
Yep.